The legend of Chris had spread far beyond the borders of the United States. His relentless pursuit of justice, his uncanny ability to solve the most complex cases, and his fearless approach in taking down even the most formidable criminals had earned him worldwide acclaim. So, it was no surprise when China, facing an unprecedented wave of crime that had overwhelmed its law enforcement agencies, reached out to the United States with an unusual request: they wanted Chris. China's criminal underworld was unlike anything Chris had faced before. The country was plagued by three of the most dangerous and powerful gangs in the world, syndicates so entrenched that even the Chinese government had struggled to dismantle them. These gangs were not just criminals, they were institutions, with roots deep in the nation's history, wielding influence over politicians, law enforcement, and the economy. Their operations spanned continents, trafficking drugs, weapons, and human lives with impunity. When the call came, Chris was ready. The United States and China signed a one-year contract, granting Chris full authority to operate within China's borders. It was an unprecedented move. Upon arriving in Beijing, Chris was greeted by a delegation of top Chinese officials, including General Zhang Wei, the head of China's national security forces. Zhang was a stoic man, a veteran of countless battles against the underworld, but even he knew that the task ahead would be one of the greatest challenges of his career. He welcomed Chris with the respect and admiration befitting a man of his reputation, knowing that the success of this mission could change the course of China's future. The first month was spent in intense preparation. Chris delved into the old case files, meticulously studying the history, operations, and key figures of the three major gangs. These were not ordinary criminals, they were warlords in a modern era, each controlling vast networks of illegal enterprises. The first gang, known as the Iron Dragon, was infamous for its brutal enforcement and its iron grip on the eastern provinces. The second, the Jade Serpent, was a shadowy organization that controlled the flow of illegal goods through China's ports. The third, the Crimson Lotus, was a syndicate of assassins and mercenaries, feared for their ruthless efficiency and their ability to strike without warning. Chris knew that he would need to dismantle these organizations from the inside out. His strategy involved not just taking down the leaders, but also breaking the networks that supported them. After a month of gathering intelligence and mapping out his plan, Chris was ready to make his move. He requested a specialized team of Chinese operatives, elite forces trained in counter-terrorism and urban warfare. These were men and women who had seen the worst of humanity, who had fought in the darkest corners of China, and who were ready to follow Chris into battle. The first target was the Iron Dragon. Chris knew that to cripple the gang, he needed to strike at its heart, its leader, known only as the Warlord.